Hello friends, this is video 3 on techniques of administrative improvement and we are going to see administrative reforms in India part 2. So in this particular video, I am going to tell you all the important committees and commissions on administrative reforms since independence. So we will see all the committees one by one and you have to remember their names and what were the important recommendations by them. Mostly you have to remember the hierarchy also. So let's start. The first reform commission was Secretariat Reorganization Committee 1947. So this particular committee is very important because this is a part of your cabinet secretariat reforms also, as well as the whole secretariat. So you have to remember this particular name, Secretariat Reorganization Committee. So the government of India set up this Secretariat Reorganization Committee in 1947, and it was headed by Girja Shankar Bajpayee. The committee inquired into the matters of personnel shortage, better utilization of the available manpower, and improvement of methods of work in the Central Secretariat. So, how the works are done in the Central Secretariat, how to improve that, how to better utilize the present manpower, the people who are already working, because there was a shortage of manpower. So, our India was not having that much administrators that time because of the partition. Many people went back to England. Many administrators went to Pakistan. So we were having shortage. So that's why this particular reorganization committee was formulated. Then in 1950, Sri N. Gopal Swami Iyengar report came. So Iyengar conducted a comprehensive review of working of the machinery of central government. So working of the central government was reviewed by Iyengar and he presented his report, Reorganization of the Machinery of Central Government. So he also recommended creation of O&M office, which we have already studied in previous video. And after that, A.D. Gorwala committee came in 1951. This particular committee was formulated by Planning Commission. So A.D. Gorwala gave his report on public administration and he underlined the need for having a clean, efficient and impartial administration. Apart from that, he also recommended O&M office. After that, Paul H. Appleby reports came in 1953 and 56. He gave two reports. The first report was Public Administration in India report of a survey 1953. So in this particular report, he dealt with administrative reorganization and practices. So mostly it was for administration improvement as well as improvement of methods. He also recommended formation of O&M office. Then his second report was on re-examination of India's administrative system with special reference to administration of governments, industrial and commercial enterprises, that is PSUs. So he checked them, and in 1956 he delivered his report, which dealt with matters pertaining to means improving the PSUs, how to improve their work procedure, their recruitment, training, and all those things. So these two reports were published by Paul H. Appleby. Paul, who was Appleby? He was a person. He was an American administrative expert, and he was called by Government of India to inquire into the Indian administrative problems and tell some solutions. After that, he has given several recommendations, almost 12 recommendations, but only two of his recommendations were accepted. The first recommendation was formation of Indian Institute of Public Administration (IIPA), which is situated in Delhi, and second was organization and methods division formation, which was also formulated after his recommendation. So this organization method was formulated in cabinet secretariat. Later it was transferred to department of public grievances and administrative reforms. So you should remember these things, that it was Appleby's recommendation. Then coming on the next reform, that was the Committee on Plan Projects 1956. So this committee was formulated by Planning Commission. and the main function of the plan project was how to improve the administration of plan projects, whatever plans planning commission was making, how to improve their implementation. So that's why this plan projects committee was formed, and mostly this particular committee was looking into matters of development administration, because our country was very backward, very poor, and we needed fast development. So that's why this particular committee. And in 1964, Management and Development Administration Division was also established as part of this committee to promote the use of modern tools of management. And this Management and Development Administration Division was doing mostly studies on problems related to development administration at the district level. So I already told you, committee and plan projects for improving the plan projects implementation, and then management and development administration division was also created within it. Its main function was to study problems related to development administration at the district level. Later, when we will study this particular topic, development administration, so then this particular committee, sorry, this particular division becomes very important. Management and Development Administration Division formulated in 1964. So remember this. Okay, then coming on the next committee, Committee on Prevention of Corruption, 1962. This is a very important committee, also very popular. It was chaired by K. Santhanam, so it is also known as Santhanam Committee, and he gave several recommendations for stopping corruption, what were the causes of the corruption, and later he suggested many measures for improvement. One of the biggest recommendation was setting up of Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. So you would have read about CVC, Central Vigilance Commission, in separate topic. So it was formulated because of the recommendation of K. Santhanam, and he was heading the Committee on Prevention of Corruption, 1962. All right. Coming on the next committee, in 1966, Administrative Reforms Commission ARC1 came. First, it was chaired by Morarji Desai, but Morarji Desai resigned because he became Prime Minister. So the chairmanship came on K. Hanumanthaiah. So in he chaired it, and the commission gave a lot of reports. Around 20 reports were given, and 500 recommendations were given. Some of the main recommendations were lateral entry, mid-level training, Lokayukta, Lokpal, and these type of acts. You can see in your notes I have given some detail regarding this. So major recommendations are, uh, some of the recommendations are that it spelled out tasks for Department of Administrative Reforms. So now the tasks were fixed, and now Department of Administrative Reforms had to work according to those tasks, and undertaking studies on administrative reforms that are of foundational nature, creating O&M expertise in the ministries and departments, and providing training to the staff in their O&M unit in modern managerial techniques. This should be modern actually. So you know that O&M offices were not having competent staff, so their training was also very essential. Providing guidance to O&M units in implementing the improvements and reforms, and even O&M units who are themselves staff units, they have to guide other departments. They themselves needed reform. So ARC took care of these things. Then second recommendation was reactivating of O&M units in different ministries and departments where they were not active. So all ministries are having O&M unit. Then third is, it called for setting up of a special cell in the Central Reforms Agency to give effect to the reports of ARC, because mostly the ARC reports are means mostly the recommendations of reform committees are neglected many times. That's why it wanted to have a central reform agency, a separate agency which can take care of all the reform recommendations. Then the fourth point is that it is stated that the central reform agency should be research based in matters dealing with the methods of work, staffing pattern, and organizational structure. So means mostly the focus should be on research, how to improve the method of work, how to improve the staffing pattern, and how to improve the organization structure. The same thing, same work. Whatever the functions are of O&M office, same things have been recommended here. Okay, then coming on 1976, Kothari committee was formed, and this particular committee was formulated to examine and report on the system of recruitment to all India services, that is IAS, IPS, and Indian Forest Service, and Central Group A and B services. Apart from these all three all India services, all other services are either Group A or Group B central services, which whose examination is taken by UPSC. So the committee in its report recommended for single examination for all India services and central group A non-technical services. Technical services are like Indian Railway Engineer Service or some other DRDO service and all those things. So mostly non-technical group A are included in UPSC examination. So remember this Kothari Committee 1976. And then in 1977, National Police Commission was formulated. As you know that our police reforms have been not done. They are means they are being delayed from so many times. So this all the police reforms are recommended by National Police Commission. You can read its major recommendations separately. So the chairmanship of National Police Commission was Sri Dharmveera. He was the chairman, and main function was of NPC was to examine the role and functions of police with special reference to control of crime and maintenance of public order, the method of magisterial supervision, the system of investigation and prosecution, and maintenance of crime records. So all these are the part of the police functions, and there are a lot of changes needed in order to make police more efficient, citizen friendly, and cooperative. People should not fear the police. They should police should be approachable. So right now our police is having a very bad image. So National Police Commission gave a lot of recommendations for the betterment of police structure as well as functioning. So uh, you should remember this NPC 1977. Okay, and then coming on the next committee, it was formulated for Economic Reforms Commission 1981. So the commission chairman was L.K. Jha, and he was assigned to study all the important areas of economic administration with a view to suggest reforms, because our economy was not doing that well. We were having only 3% growth rate. So that's why this economic committee was formulated. So just remember Economic Reforms Commission 1981 by chaired by L.K. Jha. So the commission submitted a number of reports to Government of India which advocated the rationalization and modification of the economic administrative system to pave way for a new economic order. As you can see that here the modernization of our economic structure started happening. In Rajiv era, we were already opening up to the world. In 1991, it happened with a bang, but before that also, the Indian economy was already opening up, and we were doing structural adjustment in order to be more in means integrated with the world economic system. So that thing started with Economic Reforms Commission 1981. So just remember this. Okay, then coming on the next commission on Center-State Relations 1983. This particular commission, as this is a very popular commission, you know about Sarkaria. So this is the Sarkaria Commission. He was the chairman of this particular commission, and his term of reference was to examine and review the working of existing arrangement between the union and states with regard to powers, functions, and responsibilities in all spheres, and make recommendations as to changes and measures needed. Means basically his Sarkaria Commission was to uh, give recommendations for improvement of center-state relations. In simple words, just remember that. And after that, the National Commission to review the working of Indian Constitution 2000 to 2003 was also formulated under the chairmanship of Venkat Chelaiya. He was a Chief Justice, retired Chief Justice of India. So he gave several recommendations for the review of the Constitution. You can read it in Lakshmikant book. Then coming on the Conference of Chief Secretaries 1996, this was a major watermark in whole administrative reforms. What happened that in 1996 Conference of Chief Secretaries, uh, it was called by Department of Administrative Reforms itself and Public Grievances, and uh, The focus of the conference was on having an accountable, open, and citizen friendly government and on improving the performance and integrity of public services. So, two main focuses were there, that make the governance accountable, open, and citizen friendly. And second thing was to reduce the corruption or increase the performance and integrity of the public services. So, the conference had a many actions, means it recommended many actions. First was working group on right to information and transparency, and you know that later we also got this right to information act. Then second was computerization in personal system and public services. You know that almost all the government departments are computerized now. Then third was formulation of citizens charter. The citizen charter is another topic which you'll see in detail later. So this particular charter binds the government officials to work according to a certain standard, and it also tells the stakeholders that what they can properly expect from the government official, or if the services are not delivered, so what measures they can take in order to take action against the official. So this is a very good thing, citizen charter. Then fourth recommendation was timely disposal of departmental inquiries and vigilance proceedings, because normally the vigilance proceedings take a lot of time. So that in order to punish those people who are corrupt, it should be fastened. Then fifth was developing grievance redressal machinery. You know that every department should have that. And sixth is initiating civil services reform, especially including the transfer and promotion in central and states. So these are all that some of the points of conference of chief secretaries. Then what happened, that ministers conference happened in 1977, just 1 year after that chief secretaries conference. And these chief ministers, they for means they took pledge for an action plan for effective and responsive government. So this action plan had three components. First was making government accountable and citizen friendly. How to do that? You have already read that, like citizen charter, grievance redressal mechanism, and all those things. Then second, transparency and right to information, and improving the performance and integrity of public services. So they just took the same thing which um, was already discussed in conference of chief secretaries. And after that fifth pay commission in 1997, apart from giving the normal recommendation of pay hike, it also went into major issues of administrative reforms, means how to make sure that the corruption is reduced and all those things. Then after that, in 2005 to 2009, we had the second administrative reforms commission, and it gave so many reports. There are 15 reports here. 12 reports are written. First report was right to information, master key to good governance. Second report is unlocking human capital, how to uh, give training, skill development, education, health, and all those things in order to have better people who can work for the development of the country. Third report was crisis management, from despair to hope. Here all type of crisis including disaster managements are discussed in detail. Fourth report was ethics in governance. We know that the integrity of the civil servants is reducing day by day. So, how to improve the ethics, how to punish those who are corrupt, and how to make sure that the governance is good. It is for the people, not against the people. Then fifth report is public order, justice for all, peace for all. Here again, the main focus is on how to uh, make sure that the law and order is maintained. Here a lot of conflicts they have given. Then sixth report is local governance and inspiring journey into future. Here they have given the Panchayati Raj as well as municipal governance and how to improve them. Then seventh report, capacity building for conflict resolution, friction to fusion. So here they have given a lot of conflicts that are present in our society. It is not just about direct violent conflicts, but many other ethnic, social, economic conflicts, and how to make sure that those things do not happen. Then eighth report is combating terrorism, protecting by righteousness. Ninth report is social capital as shared destiny. In social capital, they have given several ways like societies, self-help groups, agencies, and all those things where the people come together in order to formulate a environment where they help each other in order to develop. Then 10th report is refurbishing of personal administration. scaling new heights. You know that our personal administration requires a lot of reforms, so they have given recommendation regarding that. 11th report was promoting e-governance, the smart way forward. uh, they have gone through in detail about e-governance and how it can improve the administration. And 12th report was citizen-centric administration, the heart of governance. So all these are not in silo, they are not separate, they all means are merged. Every reform has some impact on other reforms, and they all work together in order to have a better society. Then I will tell you some of the problems of implementation of reforms. We know that so many committees and commissions are formulated, but nothing is happening on the ground. So why? Because lack of political will. Many reforms are not implemented because the nod is not given by the political head. Then second is lack of bureaucratic will. Bureaucrats do not want to reform the system in which they have more power. Then third is bureaucratic stranglehold over administrative reforms. Mostly the bureaucrats are the one who have to recommend the administrative reforms to the minister, but they do not want to do that. Then fourth point is lack of long-term independent strategizing agency. You have already seen that ARC1 gave recommendation that there should be an independent agency for implementation of these reforms, but that agency has not been formulated. Then next point is lack of awareness among stakeholders. The people who are the ones who will be benefited by these reforms, they themselves don't know how to make sure that the reforms happen. Like Anna Hazare movement happened, so there they ensured that Lokpal bill is passed, but such awareness is missing mostly. Then too much spending on salaries instead of modernization and training. Mostly the expenditure is done on salaries only. If we spend that money on training as well as skill building of the present employees, so that may result in better administration. Then lack of comparative study. We are not getting enough inputs from other areas where already administrative reforms have happened, and they have a better capability to deal with those problems, so we can do comparative study. You will also read about comparative study in detail during your administrative thinkers when we will study Fred W. Riggs. Then idealistic attitude of reform committees. Reform committees are not giving practical solutions. Mostly they give such solutions which are not implementable on the ground level. So that is also a problem. Then next is corruption and vested interest and weak anti-corruption agencies. Weak anti-corruption means weak central vigilance committee, weak CBI, weak enforcement directorate. So all these agencies are not having full independence in order to take action against those who do corruption. And vested interest, you know that means in politics vested interest is very common, and corruption is also very common. So these are some of the problems which are the ones which are hampering the implementation of the administrative reforms. So that's all for this video. Thank you. And in next video, we will study the topics e-governance, e-government, and information technology. So stay tuned. Thank you.